get back into some F-15C. Yeah. DCS F-15C. Keybind, it looks like. All right, what are we doing here? Wow.
Left engine fire. Right engine fire. Radar failure.
Bro, that's not what I expected. Not training. Tell them shoot. I thought I had a training thing.
Contact bearing 315.40.
Okay. What I was looking for was F-15C training missions. I know I did this one. One I want to make. Yeah, this is the one I want to download. Let's see. Shit, this is what I just did. Okay. Here we go. Training. Let's just do angle of attack and G's. See how good this is. These missions are created by N22YF. I think it automatically puts clickable cockpit. This is where I got it from. Forums F-15C training.
In this lesson, we'll discuss angle of attack and Gs and how to read their current values on the HUD. The mission is currently paused. Press the spacebar to continue. The G loading is the total force the aircraft's wings are generating. 1 G is equal to the weight of the aircraft, so in straight and level flight, you will be at 1 G. When you pull back on the stick, your G loading will increase. The bottom left numbers in your HUD, currently reading 10 and 90, are your current and max G in tenths. That is, you're currently at 1.0 G, and your max G is currently 9.0. If you exceed your max G, you risk damaging your aircraft structure since your wings will be producing higher loads than they were designed for. As you get close to your max G, a warning tone will sound, and an over G voice wording will be heard when exceeding the max G. If you spend too long in high Gs or in negative Gs, you will pass out for a few seconds, which can be deadly in a dogfight. Press the spacebar to continue. The airplane is able to make more or less Gs by increasing or decreasing its angle of attack, which is the angle that the airplane meets the air. When you pull back on the stick, you are not only increasing Gs, but also increasing your angle of attack. Your current angle of attack is indicated on a vertical scale on the left side of the HUD, just to the right of the airspeed scale. However, your wings will only work well up to a certain angle of attack. Above that, they will lose effectiveness. This is called stall. As you approach stall, the aircraft will begin shaking, and when you stall, a beep beep tone will be heard. You should avoid stalling, so your plane will be more effective at everything below stall. So if you pull back on the stick and hear that warning tone, don't pull back so hard. Press the spacebar to continue.
Why don't I have a cockpit here?
The faster your airspeed is, the less angle of attack is required for a certain G. At lower speeds, you will not be able to pull your max G. You'll stall before you get there. At very low speeds, you will not be able to maintain 1 G and will stall just attempting level flight. This can happen, for example, if you slow down too much when coming into land. If you find yourself in this situation, you should apply max throttle and push the stick forward until you are no longer stalling. Press the spacebar to continue. First, I'll have you try a high G turn at higher speed. Push the throttle to full afterburner now. When I unpause the lesson, roll to a 90-degree bank and pull back sharply on the stick until you get to about 8 Gs. Your current G indicator on the HUD will increase from 10 to 80. Watch how your G and angle of attack change as you pull back. Press the spacebar and I'll unpause the lesson. As soon as you get above 8 Gs, return the stick to neutral and roll level. Return to level flight at 15,000 feet and 300 knots. Remember, altitude is displayed on the right of the HUD and speed is on the left.
It vibrates great. All right, I'm at 15,000. We want to do 300 knots. Good. Cool.
Next, we'll try something similar but at 300 knots. At this speed, we'll stall before reaching 8 Gs. From level flight, you'll pull the stick all the way back until you hear the beep beep stall warning tone. Watch your Gs and angle of attack as you do this. As soon as you hear the stall warning tone, return the stick to neutral, increase throttle, and then level out at 16,000 feet. Go ahead and try this now.
I could do this all day. I was literally about to fall asleep. But let me go again. Mess with DCS.
This concludes this lesson. You can keep flying or press escape to end the lesson.
I can keep flying. This thing hauls ass and doesn't have any weapons on. All right. I want to options. Dust control. I need my pilot body. I don't think I can do it on here. So pilot body. Button 6. Cold start. Taxi and takeoff basics. I'm gonna become an F-15 Eagle pilot. One way or other. One way or another. Be an Eagle pilot. Sir, one way or other. One way or another. Let's see.
Welcome to Vaziani Military Base. We'll be performing a cold start.
The actual keystroke for that. Wait. Right shift P. Maybe it doesn't like it.
Which means starting from an unpowered aircraft, and then taxiing to the runway and taking off. First, turn on electrical power by pressing right shift L. With the electrical power on, you can see that the HUD comes to life, along with many instruments and cockpit lights. Make sure the throttle is at idle, and then press right shift home to start both engines. As the engines start, you'll see the engine-related dials on the right side of the instrument panel come to life. Each engine startup is finished when it reaches its idle RPM of about 65%, as visible on the tachometers, highlighted. Each engine will take about 40 seconds to start. You can continue with the startup checklist while the engines are spooling up. Press the spacebar to proceed.
Why don't I have clickable cockpit here? Is that something I gotta download? Oh, that's Canopy. F Alt C. What am I? What is it? This is just get in.
Look at the highlighted lights on the bottom left of the instrument panel. The green lights reading nose, left, and right are indicating that your landing gear is down. After you take off, you need to retract your landing gear to fly efficiently. These lights will go out when the gear is retracted. Before you take off, you'll want to lower your flaps. Flaps are movable surfaces on your wing that lower the minimum speed you can fly at, making takeoff and landing easier, but they reduce your performance, so you want to use them only for takeoff and landing. To the left of the landing gear lights is a blank black area. This is where the flap indicator light is. The word flap will illuminate here in yellow while the flaps are moving between positions, and in green when the flaps are down. Toggle the flaps position to down by pressing F now.
Landing it. What the damn flap is? Do this. Shut me up. Keep it. Stop. I got enough buttons to be doing this. Flaps up. Shit. This button 77. Oh, here we go. This button. I don't have one for down. I do now.
A red light on the top right of the instrument panel indicates that the canopy is currently unlocked. You want to make sure that light is off before you take off. Close the canopy by pressing left Control C now. When starting from a cold start, you will need to set your navigation mode to follow waypoints. Do this by pressing 1 once now.
Shit. Do what? Pressing 1.
To steer the Eagle, we'll use nose gear steering. Steer using your rudder controls, which are Z to turn left and X to turn right. You'll make wide turns, so start your turns early. Once your engines have finished starting, press the spacebar to continue.
She's simple, but she's still cool. Do what? My engine started.
To get rolling, slowly increase the throttles by moving your throttle controller forward or pressing numpad plus until you have forward movement, but do not exceed 75% RPM. Pull your throttle controller back or press numpad minus to decrease your throttle if necessary. Start turning right immediately and follow the Humvee to the runway. If you get going too fast, press W to engage your wheel brakes.
Enfield 1, 2, rolling. Clear to taxi to runway 13.
Like a big, giant mosquito. I love that sound.
Taxi to the end of the ramp and then make a wide left turn onto the taxiway to the runway. Press W to use your brakes if you get going too fast. Try to match the speed of the Humvee.
Sound like a whale screaming. If that's the sound a whale makes. For the TV it is. Y'all know how that goes. Okay.
When you get to the runway, line up down the center line and come to a halt on the 13 runway heading marker.
The Hummer going to escort me all the way down the runway. Yeah. All the way down. Wow.
Enfield 1, negative. Enfield 1, hold position. Enfield 1, hold position. Enfield 1, hold position. Enfield 1, hold position.
Hold the wheel brakes W and slowly advance your engines to 80% RPM. Once your engines are at 80%, release the brakes and push the throttles to mill, not afterburner.
Enfield 1, hold position. Enfield 1, hold position. Enfield 1, hold position. Enfield 1, hold position. Enfield 1, hold position.
As you roll down the runway, keep a line down the middle with very small rotor inputs. When you hit 120 knots, move the stick to 1/2 aft stick. Once the nose comes up, stabilize at 10 degrees pitch attitude using the pitch ladder on the HUD as a reference.
Enfield 1.
Check that your vertical velocity indicator shows a positive rate of climb and raise the landing gear by pressing G. Then retract the flaps by pressing F.
Wheels up. Rejoin.
Okay. Did it? Maybe it wants me to actually push those buttons.
Congratulations, you're just started and taken off in an Eagle. You can perform takeoffs either at nil or max afterburner throttle, depending on the runway length and how much of a hurry you're in. This concludes this lesson. You can end the lesson now by pressing escape.
chair barely moving. It sucks that I have to do this for every plane. Even though I've done it before. With no boost. Way too bro. Got nothing for lateral G. What the hell? This is the fun stuff. Y'all. Here. Here.
Over G, over G, over G.
It's kind of hard on the stick. Where we going? Let's land this bad boy. Oh, video.
Enfield 1, inbound.
Gotta figure that out.
Enfield 1, Vazani, fly heading 331, Fort 14, QFE 28.29, runway 13, to pattern altitude. Enfield 1, cleared for visual, contact tower. Enfield 1, request landing.
This thing just kind of floats. looking at the breakout incrementally. Either all the way out or all the way in. I gotta fix that. Weird doggy.
Enfield 1, taxi to parking area.
I'm gonna see how what I do here translates over to BMS. So I gotta fly BMS to ER only. So I'm gonna do some missions here that I want to see. Alright, all pans out. Probably want to do that tonight though. Alright, cold start, taxi and takeoff advance. That's cool because he puts all the key commands there. Instrument landing. Okay, try this. One of the few things I don't ever do in any of the jets. Instrument landing. All right, advanced train. Let's go landing with the instrument landing system. Yeah.
Welcome to the Instrument Landing System training lesson. Go ahead and fly to the gate ahead at waypoint 1, maintaining about 300 knots. While you're flying towards waypoint 1, switch your gear light from off to the landing setting. This light is on your nose gear strut, so you won't see it until you extend the gear. You can change the gear light setting by pressing right Alt L. The switch has 3 positions: off, taxi, landing, so you'll have to press right Alt L twice to cycle from off to the landing setting. Do this now.
Right, Alt L.
You're currently in nav steering mode, navigating to waypoint 1. After passing waypoint 1, you will automatically switch to waypoint 2. Waypoint 2 is your destination airport, and so you will also automatically switch from nav steering mode to Instrument Landing System Navigation (ILSN) steering mode. The Instrument Landing System provides steering cues to guide you down to the runway. You can manually switch to ILSN steering mode by pressing 1, but don't do that now. After passing waypoint 1, you'll navigate to a point called the Final Approach Fix, which is about 10 miles from the runway. This is the point where you will turn to align with the runway and begin the final approach. In the bottom right of your HUD, CSET blinks to tell you your course is set to the destination airfield. You're now in ILSN mode as indicated by ILSN on the bottom right of the HUD. Follow the navigation cues on your HUD or HSI, which will guide you to the final approach fix. There's no gate displayed at the final approach fix. Maintain altitude and throttle back to between 200 and 250 knots. Now let's contact Tbilisi-Locini Airport and let them know we're inbound. Press / to open the communication menu. Press F5 to select ATC, then F3 for Tbilisi-Locini. Note that in this menu you can request the azimuth to the airport, which is helpful if you get lost. When you notify the airport that you're inbound, they'll respond with navigation instructions to the final approach fix, and will tell you which runway to land on. You don't have to memorize the navigation instructions because your navigation computer is already guiding you. Notify Tbilisi-Locini that you're inbound now by pressing F1. Once you've received a response, press the spacebar to continue.
Enfield 1, Locini, fly heading 277, Fort 5, QFE 28.23, runway 31, to pattern altitude.
You can press / to close the communication menu. You've been told to fly to pattern altitude, which is about 2,500 feet above the runway. Locini is at 1,575 feet elevation, so start descending to about 4,000 feet altitude. You want to arrive at the final approach fix at this altitude. Press the spacebar to continue. Once you're between 200 and 250 knots, retract your speed brake if necessary by pressing B. Then press G to lower your landing gear and F to lower your flaps.
I gotta do it the way they want me to do it. Otherwise, it's not gonna acknowledge.
Enfield 1, cleared for visual, contact tower.
Locina, Enfield 1, request landing.
I'm definitely not doing this the way it should be. It's just a regular landing. I should have made the weather pissy and nighttime. what I'm high or low.
Enfield 1, Marquis, check landing gear. Wind 308 at 5 meters per second. Runway 31.
A higher pitched beeping indicates you're passing over the inner marker. If things aren't going well, this is the time to abort your landing and try again. When you're seconds from touchdown, gently pull the stick back to flare and reduce your descent rate, but do not level off. Smoothly retard the throttles to idle. After touchdown, use gentle rudder inputs to adjust your heading and raise the nose to 13 degrees pitch for aero braking. Do not exceed 15 degrees or you could scrape your...
Well, that didn't go well. Took my eyes off for a minute. I like that training though. Instrument landing advanced challenge. I have this set up. DCS, insert, delete. I don't think I have this set up. Dispense chap and flares is Q. I don't have this set up. Let's do chap flare.
Welcome to the training flight on the radar warning receiver and countermeasure systems of the F-15.
Yeah, hold on a minute, sir. Insert chaff. I need one flare. That's my radar. TDC. Radar on and off. Scan zone. Alright. Just gotta get familiar.
The F-15C's Tactical Electronic Warfare System, or TEWS, is a powerful built-in system that provides electronic detection and identification of surface and airborne radar threats, as well as active radar jamming. The mission is currently paused. Press the spacebar to continue.
I can have a button for this.
The first component of the TEWS we'll cover is the RWR. This system passively detects when the aircraft is being illuminated by other radars and presents this information to you in the TEWS display at the top right of the instrument panel, highlighted. This is a useful system because, unlike your radar, it allows you to detect threats without alerting them to your presence. Also, unlike your radar, it provides 360 degrees of coverage. The TEWS presents a top-down view of the area around you. You're in the center with your nose pointing towards the top. Symbols on the TEWS display indicate the direction and signal strength, not range, of contacts. The TEWS display also classifies contacts by type and status. Known airborne and ground radar types are identified by different codes. See the manual for a list of codes. A hat symbol above the code means it's an airborne radar. For example, 15 without a hat means an SA-15 SAM radar, but a 15 with a hat means an F-15. The highest threat contact is inscribed by a diamond. A semicircle is added above the most recent contact. A flashing semicircle or circle is added to a contact that is supporting a missile launch. Active radar missiles, which are missiles that have their own radar instead of relying on the launch aircrafts, are identified by the letter M inscribed by a circle. Press the spacebar to continue.
Wow. That's a mouthful, bro. Let's edit. Okay. Yeah.
The RWR will alert you of only radar-guided threats. It won't detect missiles with infrared guidance. You'll need to spot those visually. Also, if you're far from a threat, you might get an RWR indication before they actually see you on their radar. By the same token, though, when you're searching for targets with your radar, they might see you on their RWR before you see them on your radar. Press the spacebar to continue. Your RWR can't detect radars at elevations more than 45 degrees above or below you. So, for example, if you bank away from a threat and they disappear from your RWR, it doesn't mean they are no longer tracking you. They may just be in your blind spot. Although the twos can identify the type of radar illuminating you, it cannot tell whether the source is friendly or hostile. Now I'll try utilizing the twos against some actual threat contacts. When you press the spacebar, I'll unpause the mission. Autopilot is on. Adjust the throttle to about 81% RPM to maintain a speed of about 250 knots. A series of 3 high-pitched audio tones indicates a new threat has been detected. This contact is a ground-based EWR station identified on the 2's display as S. Being illuminated by a ground radar is referred to as a mud spike. On the 2's display, the semicircle above the contact means that it's the most recent contact, and the diamond means it's the highest priority threat. An intermittent chirp tone means that your RWR is detecting a radar in search mode, but you are not being locked on. You can change your RWR mode to show only locked radars. Try this now by pressing Right-Shift-R.
Oh shit. Right shift R, dumbass. Left shift R starts you over.
Welcome to the training flight on the radar warning receiver and countermeasure system. The first component of the twos we'll cover is the RWR. The RWR will alert you of only radar-guided threats. Your RWR can't detect radars at elevations more than 45 degrees above or below you. So, for example, if you bank away from a threat and they disappear from your RWR, it doesn't mean they are no longer tracking you. They may just be in your blind spot. Although the twos can identify the type of radar illuminating you, it cannot tell whether the source is friendly or hostile. Now I'll try utilizing the twos against some actual threat contacts. When you press the spacebar, I'll unpause the mission. Autopilot is on. Adjust the throttle to about 81% RPM to maintain a speed of about 250 knots. A series of 3 high-pitched audio tones indicates a new threat has been detected. This contact is a ground-based EWR station identified on the 2's display as S. Being illuminated by a ground radar is referred to as a mud spike. On the 2's display, the semicircle above the contact means that it's the most recent contact, and the diamond means it's the highest priority threat. An intermittent chirp tone means that your RWR is detecting a radar in search mode, but you are not being locked on. You can change your RWR mode to show only locked radars. Try this now by pressing Right-Shift-R. The contact is no longer shown since it was only in search mode. Switch back to showing all contacts by pressing Right-Shift-R again. We now have an additional contact. A MiG-31 is inbound from the southwest at beyond visual range, identified on the 2's display as a 31 with a hat. The semicircle and diamond indications have switched to this contact to indicate it's the most recent and highest priority threat. The faster chirping sound means that the RWR has detected a threat locking onto you. Also, the AI Airborne Intercept warning light at the top of your instrument panel is now on, indicating you are currently being illuminated by an aircraft radar, which could be friendly or hostile. Being illuminated by an airborne radar is referred to as a spike. Continue flying straight ahead. The MiG-31 has now launched a radar-guided missile against you. Your 2's display will indicate this by a flashing circle around the 31, and an audio launch warning will sound.
These BVR, I guess.
I've disabled the MiG. Our next contact will be a SA-15 SAM system at close range. Monitor the RWR indications and note that the SAM warning light at the top of the instrument panel will illuminate, indicating your RWR is detecting a SAM radar.
This is a really cool training mission.
I've disabled the SA-15. Next, we'll talk about another useful component of the twos, the ALQ-135 Internal Electronic Countermeasures, or ECM system. This system attempts to jam other radars and prevent them from tracking and locking onto you. However, it also broadcasts your presence to everyone, so you should keep it turned off if you're trying to maintain an element of surprise. To toggle the operation of your ECM, press E. Do this now.
Okay. I don't want to be pressing all these buttons. So let's go in. E. I already got a button for. Okay. That's what I thought.
Notice the blinking X at the center of your 2's display. This indicates the ECM is warming up, which takes about 10 seconds. Once your ECM is operational, the X will become solid. The last component of the 2's we'll cover is expendable countermeasures in the form of chaff and flares. These are released from the aircraft to attempt to lure away radar and infrared guided missiles respectively. Press the spacebar to continue. Your remaining chaff and flare quantities are indicated at the top right of your MPCD, which is located on the left of your instrument panel. Chaff is useful when a missile is at your 3 or 9 o'clock. In this situation, the relative speed of the missile to you and your chaff is similar, confusing the missile. If the missile is ahead of or behind you, though, the missile will not have much trouble discerning you from your slower chaff. When chaff is released, the word chaff will light up in your countermeasures dispenser lights located to the right of the 2's display. You can release a single bundle of chaff by pressing Insert. Do this now. If you spot a missile launch with no corresponding RWR warning, there's a good chance it's an infrared-guided missile. Try to get the missile coming towards your flight path at a perpendicular angle and dispense flares. When flares are dispensed, the word flare will light up in your countermeasures dispenser lights. If you see the word minimum light up there, it means you're getting low on chaff and or flares. Release a pair of flares now by pressing Delete. You can release chaff and flares simultaneously by pressing Q. You can also set your 2's to continuously dispense both chaff and flares. This is useful when you're evading an incoming missile but are too concentrated on other tasks such as getting into a firing position while performing evasive maneuvers to be distracted by manually dispensing chaff or flares. Activate continuous countermeasure dispense mode by pressing left shift Q now.
I don't want to do this, but okay.
You can monitor the release of chaff and flares by watching the countermeasures dispenser lights illuminate. Press left shift Q again to deactivate continuous dispense mode.
Okay, it's not
Although
that
in this
bad.
lesson we flew straight and level towards hostile contacts, that is obviously not the best course of action in battle. Your first line of defense should always be good mission intelligence and threat avoidance. Study the route and target area prior to the flight and plan to avoid all known threats as much as possible both horizontally and vertically. When engaged, you may be able to simply turn and run the other way if the shooter is at relatively long range.
That's my
At close
strategy.
range, your best bet will be to make good use of the 2's to actively counteract threats, plus defensive maneuvering. In general, this means putting an incoming missile at your 3 or 9 o'clock, diving towards the ground, and making a high G turn as the missile closes in to try to break the missile's seeker lock or simply exhaust its energy potential to keep up with the turn. This concludes the training lesson of the countermeasure system of the F-15C. You can press the escape key on the keyboard to exit the mission.
Okay, what's deployment practice? Oh boy. You got missions, you got these. Okay. This is like combination